Okay. One quick second here. Boom. All right, let's get rolling here. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Sunday Mother's Day edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com, Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com, and ProCharge EV, ProChargeEV.com. Okay. Hope your Sunday's off to a great start. Let me begin by wishing all the moms a very happy Mother's Day. Hope that you have an awesome, awesome day. You're treated like the queens that you are and deserve to be. And and hope that everybody just has an awesome, awesome Mother's Day. So most importantly, take care of your moms or the ladies in your life that have been, motherly to us all, who deserve to be recognized today. So happy Mother's Day to all the moms. Start there before I'm sure a lot of y'all get into the slings and arrows. Okay, so full disclosure. So LSU loses last night to Mississippi State. They lose game 2. Complete and total full disclosure. Erica and I went to dinner last night with Brandon and Adrian Holly. Our friends, obviously, all know Brandon and Adrian from Relief Windows. So we went to dinner last night, and we had a 6:30 dinner reservation. So I listened to the first inning and a half on the way to the restaurant, and then did not see anything else. So I did not watch the game last night. I read about it, saw the box score, all that sort of stuff. My mom and dad watched Drew, and so when I got home, my dad kind of filled me in on what happened. And I'll give you some takeaways again, but take my takeaways with a grain of salt because I did not watch the game. So I don't know exactly what happened. I'm only looking at what happened through the prism of having looked at a box score and been told about it after. So the really, really disappointing part, obviously, was Ackenhausen and Hurd blew a save opportunity. Or an opportunity to close out the game, right? So, Ty Floyd goes 6 innings, 1 run on 5 hits, struck out 10, walked just 1. Ty Floyd was awesome. And so there is a good and a bad that you have to take hand in hand with this. We have talked about, does LSU have a number 2? Can anyone step up behind Paul Skeens? Well, at this point, you are being disingenuous if you cannot acknowledge how good Ty Floyd has been over the last month. I know what happened against Auburn, but you kind of put a big asterisk next to that because he was awesome through 3 innings, and then you have an 8-minute delay because the coaches are yelling at each other and coming on, and the umpires completely lost control, and he lost it. Aside from that, he has been really, really good over the last month. Ever since the South Carolina game where he only went 3 innings. Against Kentucky, he pitched you into the 5th. And honestly, but for Joe Bear's snafu in right field, he probably extends beyond that, right? I mean, even after the Joe Bear thing, you had a ground ball to Tommy White that he misplayed, and then anyway, my point is, what happened in Kentucky, you can look at the run line, at his stat line, and put an asterisk because his defense did him dirty. Ole Miss, he was awesome, went 8 1/3. Bama, he gave you 6 innings. He, against Auburn, last weekend we talked about what happened. He was dominant for 3 innings, then everything fell apart with it. And then last night he gave you 6 innings of 1-run ball, struck out 10 and walked 1. The bugaboo with Floyd all season has been, can he keep the walks under control? And he did that last night, 10 strikeouts, 1 walk. Ty Floyd's awesome, okay? He has proven now he's not Paul Skeens, nobody's going to be. Floyd has proven he can give you a viable 2. Now, last week we talked about this, y'all. I'm going to come to all your questions in a second. last week I pointed out that when they pulled Skeens, instead of going Herring, Guidry, they went Ackenhouse and Hurd. And that was a big deal because up until that point in the season, Herring had been after the injuries to Shores and Edwards, Herring had been your most consistent guy, and Guidry had been the guy, like with the attitude they liked at the end of the game. I said it last week. Jay was priming Gavin Guidry to be the day 3 starter. And they wanted to see if they could go Ackenhouse and Hurd. You saw Hurd close out against Bama. You saw Hurd close out last week after Skeens. And then he started, in the midweek. And yesterday he just completely imploded. So sometimes look, those of you who want to bitch and moan and scream, I guess, sorry I used the B word, but I think that's more like complain. You're going to point out that he stinks and they have no bullpen and this and that and whatever. I could similarly look at Thatcher Hurd and say over his last handful of outings, he has been really, really good. And yesterday he imploded. Again, I did not see it. So I'm looking, he had one strike, he only walked one. It looks like they just hit him. And I'll tell you this, from my vantage point, I can stomach someone not having his best stuff and getting hit, as opposed to what happened to Christian Little last week, where you can't throw the ball over the plate. That I can't handle. If you're throwing the ball over the plate and a team knocks you around the yard, you tip your cap. What I can't handle is walking 6 guys in an inning. You know what I mean? So let me put a little asterisk next to Thatcher Hurd and say, I'm hoping that's a one-off because he's been really good over the last month. And I think he'll continue to be really good. But you had the lead and you had the 2 guys that you wanted to give the ball to right there at Ackenhouse and Hurd, and they blew it. Now I know Cooper came in and gave up a couple more runs late, but it really sounds like Ackenhouse and Hurd is where it fell apart. So the good news for LSU is today you go into this matchup with Guidry and Griffin Herring and basically anybody you want available to you that isn't Skeens or Floyd. Like literally everyone else is available. And State threw their best arm last night. They threw Cade Smith. So now you have to honestly look and say in back-to-back weeks, teams have pitched backwards against you and managed to win game 2. And the reason for that, the last 2 weeks, is your offense didn't come through. Last week, we've talked about it. You had the bases loaded 3 times against Auburn in game 2 and could never come through with the big clutch hit. Last night, 4 runs on 7 hits. Mississippi State out hit you 14-7. I mean, Cade Smith was good. I mean, if you flip it and you say if LSU got 4 runs on 7 hits against Cade Smith on Friday, they win that game. But Lamona's pitched backwards, just like Thompson did last week, and now you go into a rubber match where if LSU walks 6 guys in the first inning, you put yourself behind the 8 ball like they did last week. So I don't know if Jay Johnson's announced a starter today. My guess is it's going to be Gavin Guidry because that's what we've talked about that he's been priming to do. And if he does that, want to see Guidry go put the ball over the plate and see the LSU bats swing. So anyway, all right, let's say some good morning, see what y'all got here. Randy Dabdoob, good morning. 2-run Cooper strikes again. Again, it doesn't sound like Cooper was the problem. It more so sounds like Thatcher Hurd, Ackenhouse and Hurd are the ones that imploded. Ben Boudreaux, good morning. All right, on the Mississippi River aboard the tug Miss Nelda. All right, man, be safe out there. Jeff McKithen, good morning. Hey, Earl, good morning. Where are we? Thought this was supposed to be a get-right series for LSU. LOL, bullpen was inconsistent all year. Well, let me see, Earl, if they win today. And if they do, then you win a series and you lock up a national seed, and that's a good place to be. Skip, what's going on, man? Run rule coming today. You're probably right. The only thing that would prevent LSU from run ruling Mississippi State today is if LSU's pitching similarly implodes and you end up just with a high-scoring game. But I do think LSU will score in the double digits today. Truax, what's good, man? See, now Earl said Dylan Cruz is 2 for his last 22. And I will say that is a very real concern. Let me rephrase. I don't want to say concern. He's fighting it right now. And I think one of the things you've seen the last 2 weekends offensively is the impact, even though LSU has so many hitters up and down the lineup, the impact of Dylan Cruz not going great. Tommy White led off the second yesterday with a double. What if Cruz had gotten a knock in the first and then White doubled? What if, right? But that's the point, right? Cruz is there as a table setter for White to be able to drive in runs. And they've missed some opportunities, man, no doubt. Listen, I'm not putting anything on Dylan Cruz. He's phenomenal. Like, he's the best player in the country. He's going to be first pick of the draft, and everybody slumps. I mean, the fact that we're sitting here talking about him still hitting 400 in May is absurd. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm not criticizing Dylan Cruz. It's stunning he hasn't had a slump like this yet, but he's down to 438, you know. And, you know, would be great to see him get going again. Today would be a great opportunity to see that. Damon Gilmore, good morning. Devin Kelly, Trent Delahousse, Dalton Barnett, Armstrong Grappling, good morning. Some person, I have the Saints 10-7 losing to Philadelphia in the wild card round. Okay. Devin Kelly, good morning. Randall Offrecht, morning, Matt. With the baseball season officially ending last night for LSU, who's your pick to win it all? So someone asked on Scone and T Wednesday, would you take LSU or the field? And I said, I would take the field. But I would literally take the field any year, ever. Like, if you gave me right now Wake Forest or the field, I would take the field. Because college baseball is weird. So everybody who's sitting there saying, for those of you who are waiting for this team to lose in a regional or a super regional or an Omaha, so you could say, you see, I told you the bullpen wasn't good, or blah, blah, blah. Like, that's a miserable fan existence. Like, you're literally the worst kind of fan. The fan who can't celebrate his team's successes and waits for them to fail so he can point out their shortcomings is literally the worst kind of fan. And I would say that's actually more of a reflection on who you are as a person, because it's a defense mechanism. You don't want to open yourself up to disappointment if your team loses. So you crap on your team as a defense mechanism. And yes, I'm psychoanalyzing you. Take it from someone who, for his entire professional life, every single day, hears from dozens, if not hundreds of fans every single day. Every single day. So I understand probably better than most the psyche and psychology of a fan base, and certainly this fan base. But that's true with LSU fans and probably most fan bases. Like, the worst kind of fan is the one that waits for his team to fail and craps on them and can't celebrate the successes because they just don't want to open up themselves to a disappointment. I think this team could absolutely win the national championship because it's baseball. And the best example is, look at Tennessee a year ago. They were the best team. They were the best regular season team we've seen maybe ever. Maybe ever. And they didn't even get to Omaha. Was anybody saying, "Oh, I told you Tennessee wouldn't"? Like, no, they lost a weekend. It happens. It's baseball. So it may happen to this LSU team. Or maybe they go to Omaha and win it all. Jackson Carney, this team is melting down. Jackson, please go away. Please go away. This team is melting. Like, do you realize the last 2 weeks, teams have essentially conceded game one to you? I'm going to say again the thing I said a couple of weeks ago. And this is what I think a lot of you aren't acknowledging, understanding, or don't want to acknowledge, which is, look at how postseason is going to be scheduled, okay? You're going to be a 1 seed in a regional. And you're going to play on a Friday against a 4 seed. And you can throw literally anybody you want. You can throw Blake Money, you can throw Gavin Guidry, you can throw Ty Floyd, you can throw Thatcher Hurd, you can throw anybody you want, and you can win that game a bajillion to 3. And then you're going to come back with Paul Skeens in the marble game, and he's going to win because he's going to overwhelm somebody's number 2, right? Because whoever is your 2-3 game has to start their ace to try to get in the winner's bracket. And then they're going to come back against Paul Skeens with the number 2. And someone's going to lose that game, and then they're going to have to go win another game to come back to try to beat you twice. So somebody's 4th and 5th pitchers are going to have to try to beat you twice. Like, you're going to win a regional, okay? And you'll go to a super regional at the box, and you're going to pitch Paul Skeens in game 1, and you're going to win it. And then someone's going to have to come back and beat you twice. Can it happen? Sure. Is it likely to happen? No. So you'll go to Omaha, and you'll see if you could. Skeens will pitch the first game and probably pitch you into the winner's bracket. And then you hope you get a good outing from Ty Floyd, and you can win 2, and then someone's got to come back and beat you twice. And can that happen? Sure, it can happen. But we'll see. Hang on one second, y'all. Drew's up. I need to get it. That you later. Okay. What? What? Okay. He's probably going to make me get up and give him the iPad or something, so bear with me. Anyway, do me a favor, please, if you're on YouTube, smash that like button. Subscribe up to the channel if you're new. Appreciate that. Facebook, please like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. Appreciate y'all for being here with us. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms if you're joining a little late. Hang on one second. That iPad's at 12% battery. Probably ain't gonna last very long. Anyway, okay. Let's see. Skip, Floyd should go game 1 of a regional. Maybe, Skip. I'm actually more inclined to say I would probably hold him for game 3. I don't know what Jay's going to do. He hadn't been in this situation before. You're definitely not throwing Skeens game 1, but you could throw Floyd, but then again, you could also take a midweek approach to a regional and save Floyd for a potential championship game, which is probably what I would like to see him do. Bubba Tatum, good morning. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms. Shout out to the Berwick Panthers, 3A state champs. Okay. Jeremy Sagely, good morning. Logan Mathern. Let's see. Nate wasn't horrible. Allowed 1 homer, got out of the inning. I think they pulled him too early. I know what he's doing, though, man. He was trying to get home with Thatcher Hurd. It's what he did against Alabama, 2 innings saved. Let's see. Kelly Gross, good morning. Happy Mother's Day, Kelly Gross. Terrell Fontenot, felt bad for Ty, pitched a hell of a game. Don't you think it's time to bench Jones for a bit? Bring in Kling for some actual contact. No, see, this is the thing too, man. Hang on a second. God, Okay, so I want to point this out about Kling, because some people have been asking that too. So Daryl, so Kling on the season is hitting. Kling on the season is hitting 300 with a 404 on base percentage. In conference play, Kling is hitting about I looked it up. I think he's at 157 in conference play, and someone said, "What's up with the cyborg left eye?" Me? Oh, no. Maybe just because there's sunlight coming through there. I don't know. Anyway. Kling is like 157 in conference play, and he's literally struck out in half of his at bats. So no, like Kling's a great player. I think he's your starting center fielder next year. I think he's going to be a great player. He's shown you enough with a sample size this year that he can't hit SEC pitching yet. Yeah, Logan Mathern, we faced the lefty righty today. That's going to be interesting. So State has an ambidextrous pitcher, and he's the guy who's supposed to throw today at some point. I don't know if he's going to start or whatever because they left it TBA. But yeah, State has an ambidextrous pitcher, and we're probably going to see him today. So like he literally has a glove where he'll switch. He'll throw some right, some left. Trey Potan, Samuel Merrifield. What about Guidry's future at shortstop? Will he play two going forward next season? No, I think he's your starting shortstop next season. Thompson's a top 2 or 3 round pick, certainly a top 100 pick, and Guidry's your starting shortstop next year. Hey, Becky Herod, good morning. Bubba Smith, Skip, Tommy Tanks is at 401. I haven't looked at the updated. Tommy White's at, well, unless if they haven't updated it from last night, but Tommy White, they have at 399. But maybe he's 401 now if they didn't update it from last night. Darren Straub, good morning. Will Coleman have a chance to start, or are they still working him to get his pitch count up? So that's another, like you could very much start Javen Coleman in game 1 of a regional. Like, absolutely, that's something you could do. Forgot me, you have Javen Coleman available today also. Let's see, Greg Daigle, bullpen was bad, but we got him more hits and runs, plain and simple. Yeah, look, that's happened the last 2 weeks in game 2, where they held their ace. The other team threw their best guy on Saturday, and it worked. Held the offense down. I mean, I'll say again, like if Cade Smith had thrown Friday, and you score 4 runs off of him, then you win that game 4-0, and then they're going to the freshman who we saw on Friday and whoever else is after him. But what it is, man. But that is also not an option for teams in the postseason to pitch backwards against LSU. Pitchers like Aiden Moffitt, Nick Bronzini, are they not good enough to pitch? Are they not good enough? At this point in the season, if they were ready to give you innings right now, they'd be giving you innings. Daniel Lawrence, good morning. Let's see. I understand the pitching situation, but hitting and leaving a dozen guys on base a game is a real issue. Listen. This team is, last night, LSU left 12 on base. They had 4 runs on 7 hits. I understand, but like, we had the same conversation a week ago, and the reality is, and I think Hunt said it this way, and he's right. He said he's not worried about leaving runners on base because who leaves a lot of runners on base? Good offenses. Doesn't leave a lot of runners on base? Bad offenses, because they don't get runners on base. So you're going to have days where the other team comes up with a big pitch and you don't come up with a big hit. I mean, baseball's hard, man. Round ball, round bat. It's a game of failure. You fail 70% of the time, you're in the Hall of Fame. Like all those cliches exist for a reason because they're real. It's hard to hit. So. I had breakfast delivered for Erica, but she's still sleeping. Let's see. Guy Brooks, good morning. Jerry DeLucky, what's going on? Had to be one of the most disappointing losses in a long time. Maybe you missed game 2 against Kentucky or game 2 last week. Let's see. We're game 1 against South Carolina. Do you think it's time to sit Beloso or Jones, let Milazzo be the full-time catcher and Travinsky DH? No. I think for me, and I'll say this again, and I understand Travinsky being in the lineup. I do. I do. And I like, I know he homered again last night. I like Travinsky. He hits bombs. I get it. If there's one thing I would consider, looking Beloso was 1 for 4 last night, had a walked, so he was on base twice. And his on base percentage is .439. So, I mean, and he's hitting .303. So it's hard to justify with that large of a sample size saying take that guy out of the lineup. I like him hitting behind. I like him hitting behind Tommy White. If you were going to do something dramatic like that, I would put Travinsky at first for Jones. But then again, Jones is hitting .313 and has 14 homers. Are you really going to take a dude with double-digit homers out of your lineup? It just doesn't make sense. Like, you just understand that's like, I mean, Dylan Cruz is 2 for his last 22. I mean, you're going to have ups and downs and ebbs and flows over the course of a season. It's just, you got to understand there's failure involved, and just on days like that, other guys are going to have to pick certain guys up or over the course of weekends. But it's hard to argue with the fact that over the course of a season, like if you're talking about Jones is at 150 ABs. He's hitting .313 with 14 bombs, and his on-base percentage is .434. You can't argue with that. Like, he's at 150 ABs. Like, Gavin Dugas is at 150 ABs. He and Jones are hitting an identical .313. I mean, Thompson's at 175 ABs. He's hitting .269. So, nah, man, I understand, but like a little bit of the Hunt Palmer TV broadcast was incredible. Hunt, I did see. So we were leaving for dinner. Again, if you're just joining us, thank you for watching. 161 watching live. Thank you. Please smash that like button if you would. Subscribe up to the channel if you're new. Eric and I went to dinner last night with Brandon and Adrian and Holly, and had a great time. So I didn't get to see the game. I'm telling you, just full disclosure. I saw the Open. Hunt, we left the house at 6:15. So I watched the Open with you and Lynn. Great to see you up there, Hunt. I know it's awkward. You don't know what to do with your hands. You did a lot of this. Standing, you did a lot of this. But, or this, maybe. Not quite as pronounced. Maybe it's more like this. It's okay to let your hands hang by your side. Or maybe around the belt. Just a hint. But I'm sure the broadcast was incredible, Hunt. You know I'm a fan. I'm a big fan of Hunt. I think Hunt does a great job on the baseball broadcasts. Let's see. Some person, Wheels, does highlights for LSU baseball game. It helps because I can't catch most games on TV. Austin Kidder, good morning. Happy Mother's Day to Eric. I've been behind this week, but I loved your rant about the library. People here in Vegas only ask me about sports. Nobody naturally cares about academics. I get a lot of people that talk to me about the library rant. Guy Brooks, good morning. And thanks for watching as always, man. LSU bullpen was terrible. Continue to walk batters, miss their spots consistently. Again, wasn't watching live. But walks didn't really seem to be the point. Floyd walked 1, Ackenhausen walked 1, Hurd walked 1, Cooper walked. You only walked 3 batters. You struck out 15 and you walked 3. So walks definitely weren't the problem last night. I mean, I'll say it again. I can live with a team swinging it good, making good contact, and getting hits. tip your cap. What I can't live with is walking 7 guys in the first inning like LSU did last week against Auburn in Game 3. I can't live with just giving them runs that put you out of the game before you're even in it. So if State's going to bang out 14 hits, tip your cap. It was not Thatcher Hurd's night, unfortunately. Hang on one second. Drew's back next week. Sorry for all the up and down. All right. Y'all, I hope that's the last time I have to get up. My apologies. My apologies. Thank you for your patience. Okay. As always, shout out to Brock and Hudco. You need an orthopedist? Call Brock. Remember Brock Rock and Wine, July 29th. You need a roof? Call Hudco. Hudco's pinned in the chat. All right, let's get going here. Damon Gilmore, the baseball moms thing on Friday was awesome. That was Terrio's letter. For those that missed it, it was hilarious. It was a letter to baseball moms. It's on the 1045 ESPN Facebook page if you've not seen it. I'll post it some other places too. Reed Rule, happy Sunday and Mother's Day. Wasted a great outing by Floyd. At what point does Wes Johnson have some blame for the bullpen disarray? I'll say this again, Reed. Grant Taylor, Chase Shores, Garrett Edwards. You lost 3 of your top arms. Grant Taylor was supposed to be your number 2 starter. Shores and Edwards were your 2 best arms out of the bullpen. You miss those guys. Everybody has to move up a chair. You're going to have shortcomings. The fact that Gavin Guidry was not even pitching this fall and you've gotten out of him what you have is remarkable. The fact that you've continued to watch Hurd develop, and although he was not good yesterday, I'll circle back to this for those that missed it. Thatcher Hurd's last 4 outings before last night had been very good. So if it were like good outing, bad outing, good, then you're far more concerned. But his last 4 times out, he had been very good. He had steadied himself. He was great the last 2 weekends in a closer's role. They hit him last night. It happens. The best closers in the world get hit. And he's not one of the best closers in the world. He just got hit last night. So Javen Coleman coming off of Tommy John, ramping him up. It's a process. And I feel like you're learning about this team. Last night, look, we talked about it last Friday. I'll circle back to this for those who were just joining us. Last Friday, it was what? Use your words. Drew, use your words. He wants the iPad, of course. We're going to set a record today for the number of times I got to get up. Hey. Good luck, kiddo. Okay. And the iPad's at 7%, so it's probably going to die soon, so he's going to fuss again shortly. Anyway, so again, Ryan's asking about Wes Johnson. Who was it asking about? Reed Rule was asking about Wes Johnson. Ryan said Wes Johnson's built for coaching pros, not Joes. I completely disagree with that. Like, you just got to understand you're dealing with college kids and they're not all pros. That doesn't matter. Like, the fact that they have continued to develop the staff the way they have, despite what you thought. Remember, you started this season with Skeens, Cooper, Shores as your 3 guys in your weekend rotation. Think about how far light years you've come from that in the opener. It's been a difficult juggling act because of a lot of injuries and the fact that they're in the spot where they are, where you feel like you've got Floyd in a good spot. Hurd before last night had obviously been pitching well. You got Ackenhausen back. You're ramping up Coleman. You feel good about Guidry. Herring's been good, but last week was a disaster on Sunday, just following little the situation it was in. So anyway, a lot of you do this every time they lose. You just melt when they lose, and you got to realize you can't take every game in a vacuum. You've got to look big picture. That sucked. It sucked that you blew a lead late. It absolutely sucked. You blew a lead late against Texas A&M as well. You should have swept A&M in the opening weekend of conference play, but you blew a late lead in Game 3. Just go win today. If you lose today, I'll tell you all again, man. I said it last weekend. I'll be honest with you. I said if they lose the series to Mississippi State, I will have a decidedly different tone. Because if you can't go out today at home and beat that team with nobody left to throw the baseball, that's a problem. That's a real problem. Wendell Norman, let's see, Bart St. Germain had Guidry warming up for 3 innings, and they brought in Hurd. That I do not understand. Bart, I didn't see it, obviously, so that I can't speak to. I don't know. I mean, here's what I know, that they do like Guidry in a stopper role, right? Look at what happened last week. Chaos all around on Sunday, walks everywhere. Who did they bring in to stamp out the fire? Guidry. He likes Guidry as a stopper because Guidry emotionally can handle it. And so I think my guess is, and again, I didn't see it, but if they kept getting Guidry up, it was okay. If the wheels come off for Floyd here, Guidry's going to come in. That would have been the role, right? But you got through 6, and if you brought in Hurd for the 7th, or Ackenhausen for the 7th, well, you didn't need Guidry to come in and stamp out a fire. Let's see. Cliff Nelson, good morning. Tell E-Rock, her mom, and Mama Scone, Happy Mother's Day. Hashtag Team Drew. Will do, Cliff. Same to your mom. Please send her our best and a Happy Mother's Day to all the moms watching, and those of you who are going to go celebrate your moms today. Let's see. Irfan Sayad, good morning. Aaron Fontaine, morning, Scone and fellow Sconers. This time next week, I'll be back in the boot, Lake Charles, for a few days. All right, Aaron. Looking forward to having you back in the boot. Kyle Milliken, earlier this year, this team was so clutch with runners in scoring position. Seems now they've lost that. Let's see. Tom Granite, good morning. Devin Kelly, kid for Mississippi State at the end of the game, looked like he was 13 years old. He was chucking 92, 93. It's weird, man. Everybody throws 92, 93 now. I mean, did you go into any minor league, any farm system, and you'll see dudes throwing low, mid-90s. It's just common. What's not common is command. When you can command multiple pitches at 92, 93, that's how you advance, right? Okay, Cliff Nelson, family and I are going to Mother's Day brunch at Tallulah. Heck yeah, man. Enjoy. Tallulah, of course, is inside the Renaissance. Great sponsor. So Tallulah and the Gregory downtown at Watermark both have weekend brunch, and both are awesome, by the way. Enjoy it, Cliff. Hey, baby. Do you want to come say hi to Dad show?
Not for Dad show.
After Dad show, we're going to eat breakfast, and then we're going to go for a ride in Dad's car to the mall. And then after mall, where are we going? To Drew's house, and then where are we going?
Oh, ride and Daddy.
We're going to ride Daddy's black car, Daddy's new car, to
The mall.
the mall. Okay. Well, here he is. Well, look who came to say hello to everybody. Let's see. Who do you see?
Drew.
You see Drew?
Hi, Drew.
Hi, Drew.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, Drew. Do you want to say hi, Dad show?
Hi, Dad. Drew.
Oh, well, that was so sweet. Hey, who came to play with you last night? Who came to Drew's house last night? Huh?
Mama.
Mama and who else?
Papa.
Papa. Yeah. Did you have a good time?
Yeah.
What did you do?
Mm.
What did you play with Mama and Papa?
Mm.
Did you do clap hands?
Mm. Mm.
Huh?
Mm.
Did you play clap hands?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mom.
With Mama.
Huh? Mama's red phone.
You saw Mama's red phone? You saw Mama's red phone? Okay. I bet you did. All right. We'll see you later. It's true. Ryan, Amanda Guidry, Kelly Presley, good morning. Hey, Mark, good morning. Trey Patan, Bart St. Germain, y'all saying hey to Drew, good morning. All right. Darren Straub, just give Drew the remote. Maybe he'll change your channel back on English. Maybe so, man. I think that situation is rectified, actually. He might have done it. Let's see. Alex Barnes, watch XFL Championship last night. Abram Smith seemed like a good fit for that league. Great chance for him to continue development. That's the running back from Baylor, who the Saints signed as an undrafted free agent last year. David, LSU could sure use Dylan Cruz to start a new hitting streak. Yes, they could. Dane Bergeron, good morning. Damon Gilmore, Terriers at 15-2. Realistically, what do you think? It does line up well if they can just be decent. Yeah, Damon, I just don't think the Saints are that good. Like, I think they're not going to be 15-2. I think, yes, they have a weak schedule, but you got to keep in mind the flip side of it is every team the Saints are playing are going, oh, good, they stunk last year. They were 7-10. That's a winnable game, right? So other teams are looking at you the same way you're looking at playing at the Rams or something like that, right? Cliff, you should get a couch and charge by the hour. Bro. Lou, want to go to Collins or Herring versus Cooper with the game tied? You're likely to run rule today, so I save top relievers. Maybe he wanted a lefty. I guess in that point, it could have gone Herring. Let me see. Again, I'm being very transparent with y'all. Like, I went to dinner last night. Eric and I went out to dinner last night, so I was not watching the game. So I cannot tell you I have this great sense of exactly what happened. Like, I'll look at the play-by-play. So the 8th inning is when it imploded, right? So you're up 4-2. You bring in Hurd, thinking, go get me 6 outs. Hurd pitches for Ackenhausen to start the 8th. You make your defensive replacements. Kling goes into right. Milazzo goes to catch. Makes a lot of sense. Like, you bring in you're up 2 in the 8th. You bring in your defensive replacements, and here comes your closer to get 6 outs. Double on a 1-1 pitch. Like, tip your cap, okay? Then he gave up a homer. Strikeout. So you're tied. You get a strikeout. But he reached on a wild pitch. Oh, God. Then a walk. Then a single. Then they brought in Cooper. So you're down 5-4 with a runner on, with 2 on. With 2 on, 2 runs in. Ground out. Fielder's choice. So the reach on a strikeout, the wild pitch, that's what did you in. Because you would have been out of the inning, and then Ledbetter homered. Again, I wasn't watching. That's devastating. Okay. And Lou, to your point about Collins or Herring versus Cooper, he likes Cooper. He's a lefty who's been in a lot of big spots. I would tell you Collins, hasn't been awesome this year. He struggled with walks, and the real, like, just looking at that, the wild pitch on the strikeout killed you. Ugh. Anyway. That's the kind of thing that is really tough to stomach. Like, if dudes are putting good swings on balls, fine. A walk or reach on a strike, a wild pitch on a strikeout, like that's the kind of stuff where you're like, when you want to go throw up in a trash can. Michael Thacker, morning, Scone. Happy Mother's Day. Does LSU go all in for the SEC tournament? No. Like, see what happens to, like, if you win the series today, you know, and you know, you win the series today, put you at 18 conference wins if you win today. You go to Georgia next week, you win a couple of games there, you've locked up a national seed. At that point, I wouldn't throw Skeens at all. And Jay even said this. I had Jay on AFR the Monday after the Bama series, and I asked him point blank about how do you manage Skeens, you know, moving forward. You know, as far as load management, and he said, look, absolutely, you know, alluded to the fact that he may not even pitch in the SEC tournament, which I wouldn't throw him anything more than a glorified bullpen. I mean, you want to get him out there just like on a regular work day and just let him kind of work up a lather or something like that, fine. But there's no way I would let, if you've locked up a national seed, I would completely give Skeens that week off. It's very common to skip starts. Aaron Nola skipped there was an Ole Miss weekend late in the season in 20, I remember if it was 13 or 14. Nola skipped a start. You see it all the time. You see it in the bigs all the time when a guy feels fatigued. He just skips a start. Yeah. So no, SEC tournament for this team should be completely irrelevant. Go, like, you've done enough heavy lifting at this point. You win today, and then you win the series next week against Georgia. You're at 20 conference wins. You've locked up a national seed. I mean, you just go to Hoover to whatever. I wouldn't be sad if they were 2 and done. Leon Williams, good morning. Jerry, DeLucky, win today, win the series, move on. It's baseball. State's bats are better than people think. Couple that with the last 3 innings of relief by LSU staff yesterday. It's a recipe for disaster. I don't know that I'd go that State's bats are better, Jerry. I mean, they're hitting like 250 in conference play. That ain't that good, bro. But look, still SEC players, man. They got some guys. There are guys in that lineup that can hit. I will say that, yes. Joey Metge, Peter Fenner, Tommy Poole. What's going on? Samuel Smith, Barry Joslin. First Mother's Day without our son who died in December. Hug them while you can. Barry, very sorry to see that, man. Condolences to you and your family. And a happy Mother's Day to your wife. Yeah, certainly a big hug to everybody who's, you know, going to celebrate their first Mother's Day today, maybe without, like, you know, my grandmother died a few weeks back, and so for my mom's first Mother's Day without her mom, you know, so to everybody who's certainly will celebrate all the moms who are with us and those who are not with us, and thinking about everybody today who is celebrating Mother's Day for the first time, you know, without a loved one. AI Sports Network, Auburn getting hot at the wrong time. Oh, I mean, you already played them. Murder Giraffe, yo, cheers from Peru. Okay. Brent Roban, so a team's not being able to pitch backwards against us in the postseason. No worries just yet. I just think there's plenty of time to get the mojo back. Jason H, good morning. Hashtag shoe game, would you pick up at Ruckus? So we did. We had a successful trip to Ruckus yesterday. Drew needed some shoes, so I got Drew a pair of Air Maxes, and a pair of G Nikes. He got white G Nikes with the black swoosh, and I might have gotten a few pairs for myself. I got 2 more pair of Air Force Ones, and I got the Wolf Gray SB Blazers mids. Gregory Gordy, Kyle Milliken. Hey Matt, in a friend draft, who would you take first, Terrio or T-Bob? That Terrio. I mean, I love T-Bob, but like Terrio is one of my best friends in the world. Anthony Guglielza, good morning, Matt. Absolutely embarrassing the last 2 weekends in a row. Team is folding like a 10th the wrong time. I think I'm checking out for a while. Anthony, you say you're checking out every time they lose, and then you keep coming back. So yeah, man, go check out. Go check out, buddy. Come back whenever they're in Omaha. And then if they lose a game in Omaha, you're going to say it's absolutely embarrassing. They fold like a 10. I mean, why didn't you say they folded like a 10 when they blew an 8th inning lead against Texas A&M the opening weekend? It was actually bottom of the 8th. I mean, they were like about to close out a sweep. No, nothing. Murder draft. We have the most doomer fans. I mean, it's true. Like, but I'm gonna say it again. Like, I know I say this a lot, but LSU has this reputation of having these really like smart baseball fans. They do not. LSU baseball fans are not super savvy baseball fans. And it's not a knock. They're very passionate about their team. LSU has great fans that love their team and go to games, and that's great. LSU baseball fans, by and large, are not watching Ole Miss against Auburn on a Thursday night just because it's on. If it's a Tuesday night MACtion and it's college football, you're watching because you love college football. That's the difference. And so you exist in these one-game vacuums with LSU all the time, and you live with blinders on as if there's nothing else to see besides what happens at LSU. And you lose sight of the fact that you lost the series last weekend for the first time, but Vandy, who's a top 5 team in the country, lost the series to Alabama, who you swept. Happens to everybody. Anyway. But Mississippi State stinks. Like, you have no business losing this game today. You're positioned to win this game. Your pitching staff is deeper, the arms you have available, you're at home, rubber match. Like, they went all in to win last night, and you were up 4-2 in the 8th, and Hurd and Cooper couldn't hold it. So, bummer. Absolutely stinks. But you got to go win today. You got to win today. Today does matter a lot. Because if you lose, because now all of a sudden, and this, I'll explain why today does matter a lot. If you lose today, now you've lost back-to-back weekends. One of them at home to the worst team in the league. And then you have to go on the road to Georgia, who's fighting for its regional life. And if you lose that series to a desperate team, then you will have lost 3 consecutive weekends to close out the season. And now you could be teetering with, okay, are you actually a national seed? And that would be a collapse down the stretch. That's why today matters. Today matters. Go win this weekend. You win today, you win the weekend. You're completely on track to be a national seed. You go to Georgia next week, probably needing 1 to completely solidify it, 2 your total lock. But so you should win today. You should absolutely win this game today. AI Sports Network looks like playing 1 less SEC game than Arkansas, despite taking the season series, might end up hurting LSU. It could. But then again, all that really matters for is seeding in the SEC tournament. And I really don't care about the SEC tournament. So whatever. Shane Danos, good morning. Just out of Mass, ready to watch Game 3. Happy Mother's Day. Yes, indeed. Hunter Fournette, the comment about the walks are the casuals telling on themselves. That's kind of true. There was someone earlier, for those who missed, there was someone earlier who said, like, they just keep walking people. The LSU struck out 15 and walked 3 last night. Walks did beat you last night. Let's see, West, bottom 7th, LSU got lucky with Cruz at bat. Should have bunted the runners over and let the RBI leader get one. Wait, are you suggesting they should have bunted Dylan Cruz? Because if that's what you're suggesting, Wes, that is congratulations. If you're suggesting that they bunt Dylan Cruz, then that's the dumbest comment that's been posted here this morning, and that's a pretty. You're in some rarefied air there. Man, I know I'm really behind on comments. My apologies. Saints are plus 125 to win the division. You think that's good value? No. Charlie H., Robert Potts, just jumping in, knowing Wes Johnson's history with pitchers is a lack of development of guys we expected from more on talent or the coach at this point. You'd have to tell me who you're talking about, Robert, because I could again look at Gavin Guidry's development this year, Griffin Herring's development this year as a freshman, Hurd, who clearly was affected by injury and has come along, Javen Coleman coming off of injury, Ty Floyd improving throughout the course of the season. Paul Skeens was not a year ago what he is today. And you lost Taylor Shores, and Edwards, 3 of your top arms. So again, I think that is a lazy fan narrative, Robert. I think you have conversations with LSU fans and they're going to say Wes Johnson isn't as good, he's overhyped, because you want to look and point at someone to blame for the shortcomings, and it's not been pretty. But I'll point out again, there are more teams in the league with an ERA over 6 than there are with an ERA under 5. So it's a more offensive game. Everybody's ERAs are up. But again, you have to watch the league to know that, and most people don't. Charlie H., what are the expectations for Christian Little going forward? I don't know, Charlie. I could not put Christian Little on the mound in a meaningful situation. I couldn't. Because I can't trust he's going to throw the ball over the plate. I can handle putting a guy in the game and him getting hit. This is the thing with Riley Cooper. I can handle Riley Cooper going in the game and the other team puts good swings on him and they knock him around a bit. Like, I can handle that. Because a lot of times when they put the ball in play, they're going to get themselves out. What I can't handle is I hand you the ball and you walk for the first 5 batters of the game. That's never going to be acceptable. Happy Mother's Day. Hey, look on the table. I got us breakfast. I was waiting for you to wake up so we can. Oh, well, we can eat breakfast. All right. Brian Williams asking if I cover New Orleans Breakers football. I do not, Brian. Jeremy WC, was the red phone a flip or a landline? That's Mama Scone's phone. Is a cell phone. It's a cell phone. Tommy Poole, love Drew. Anything for that precious baby. Happy Mother's Day to E-Rock. Sorry, I'm really far behind on comments. Fred Sabrin, curious if you read Leah's article on Tommy John issues. I did not. But what I will say, and I'm assuming she's writing about what's causing Tommy John, why an increase, which is something, honestly, Fred, that's something that has been talked about, discussed, opined about for probably a decade now, and there are several general consensuses, which are kids throwing breaking balls earlier in their careers, like as young pitchers. The bigger, stronger, faster, you have bigger, stronger dudes weightlifting that are throwing harder and causing more torque on the elbow. Overuse at a younger age. I mean, it's a combination of a lot of things, I'm sure. And I just think ultimately every arm only has so many throws in it before it blows out. Let's see, Fred, with Guidry warming up today, Herring not coming in, seems like Herring will get the start today. Maybe, Fred, but I'll say something I said earlier as well. Jay likes Gavin Guidry as a stopper, right? He has really been nice in that role this year because of his moxie. He can come in a high leverage pressure situation, guys on base, and he's not moved by it. So I think they probably had him up in case if something went awry with Ty Floyd to get you out of a situation. And ultimately Floyd got you through 6, so you went to Herring in this or Ackenhouse in the 7th and Hurd in the 8th. You had a 4-2 lead in the 8th, and you put Hurd out there saying, hey, go get me 6 outs. And he couldn't. It's a bummer. Let's see, Cortland. I'd rather see Money get the start over Guidry, considering Guidry likely won't pitch next year. Wait, why? What does Guidry not pitching next year have anything to do with? I want you to start the guy today who's going to give you the best chance to win. That's not Blake Money. Murder Giraffe. Bro said they should have bunted Dylan Cruz. Are we in crazy town? Bruh, over and over again. Over and over again. I don't want to say it. I've said it enough. Cortland, LSU scored 4 runs, failed to score runs with bases loaded multiple times. People are complaining about the pitching that has been an issue all year. Got a great start from Floyd, no run support. Cajun-omics, I don't get why Wes Johnson doesn't get credit for improvements to Skeens and Floyd. Injuries have not helped. Because some people are just doomsdayers, man. If you were not here at the beginning of the show, I will reiterate this. And thanks everybody who's watching, by the way. I'm about to go eat breakfast with Erica and have a Mother's Day morning. But please smash the like button if you're on YouTube. 150 still watching live, which is awesome. Only 68 likes. If we can get the like button up, that'd be great. And please subscribe to the channel if you're new. Facebook, please like the Matt Scone page, share the post. Oh, yeah. Where we started today. The worst kind of fan is the fan that waits for their team to fail and then craps on them. And when their team wins, doesn't say anything. My opinion, and having done this job for a very long time and literally interacted with dozens, if not hundreds of fans every single day of my professional life, is that is an emotional insecurity. I think fans that do that don't want to leave themselves open for disappointment, so it's a defense mechanism. Like, you don't want to get your hopes up, and so you just constantly crap on what's wrong with your team. And I think that is a really miserable way to live your life, because then you never really get to celebrate or enjoy the really good things, like Paul Skeens being a freak show, like watching a team that's going to have the first 2 picks in the draft. When all you do is just walk around like that cartoon with the cloud over your head all day, like that's a pretty miserable existence. Like I generally just in life don't associate with people like that. And those are the worst kind of fans. So I really do just ignore people like that. I just don't engage them at all. But they're out there aplenty, and it's actually very sad. Like, it's a very sad way to live your life, because it's probably reflective of what you do, of how you live your life, the way you see the world, not just sports. So that kind of sucks. But those are the worst kind of fans, and they're out there, unfortunately. Like, if you win today and run rule them, those people aren't going to say anything. They're going to wait for LSU to lose and go, told you the bullpen sucks. Wes Johnson's overrated. Like, what? Why isn't Trey Morgan playing first base? Like, the same stupid things you hear over and over again. Okay. Kyle Milliken. Trey Morgan laid down a beautiful bunt last night. I think he should start a pitcher today. I'm not taking the bait. Cajun-omics agreed about fans like that. Brett Boy, what'd you get for breakfast? Bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, some hash browns, and some pancakes. So, all right. I think we're done. Trivia Carter, all good that you're late. Couple more here on Facebook. My apologies. Ooh, wow. Joel Cunningham, bullpen has 0 swag besides Guidry. Craig Duga, good morning. Did I miss a rant? No rants this morning, Craig. Happy Mother's Day. Tavanka De Silva, good morning from Sri Lanka. Craig, watched Air last night on Netflix. Very well done. The numbers MJ pulls in from those shoes are insane. Solid movie. Well worth a watch. Yeah, I need to watch it. Craig Duga, Pac-12 After Dark is good. Perfect way to settle down after 12 hours of college football. Sad to see it maybe no more when Pac-12 folds. We'll still get some, like there will still be West Coast football, Craig. There will be West Coast football on at night. Tanya Grant, please God, don't let us have to have the conversation tomorrow where Matt has a totally different perspective about where the team is headed. Go out, win this one today, guys. Nicholas Cantrell, morning Scone. Will this bullpen lead us to Omaha or let us down in the Super Regional? Like I will, if I had to take money to a ticket window and say, okay, you have to take everything you own. Are you betting LSU to go to Omaha or not? I would bet yes, they go to Omaha. And I'll say this as I repeated earlier, if I had to take LSU with a field to win the national championship, I would take the field. But that's not a commentary on this LSU team. I would literally take, yeah, I would. I'm about to wrap up right now. I would literally take the field any year ever because it's baseball. Coastal Carolina won a national championship, and Fresno State won a national championship, and last year Ole Miss was one of the last teams in the field, and they won a national championship, and it's just. It's hard. It's hard to win. It's hard to win a championship in baseball. More teams are capable. So, anyway, we'll see. So, to answer your question, Nicholas, I do believe LSU will be in Omaha. I hope when they get there, they play really well over 10 days and win a natty. But you gotta go do it. I mean, LSU in 2017. In 2013 was 23-7 in the league. Best regular season team we ever saw. Didn't lose a weekend. Well, they did lose a weekend. They lost a weekend, South Carolina. Anyway, all right, I gotta go. Y'all have an awesome day. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms. And we'll see you. Peace. Shout out to Brock and Hudco. Need an orthopedist? Call Brock. Need a roof? Give a shout out to Hudco. HudcoRoofing.com. See you.